In this video, we're going to consider the specifications for the back of the drawer box when you're building with undermount drawer slides. Now, when we consider this information, we're talking about when you're using an undermount drawer slide, that will accommodate a drawer side material that is 1/2 of an inch thick, 13 millimeters, all the way up to 5/8 of an inch thick, 16 millimeters. We're not considering the drawer slides that will accommodate drawer side material of 3/4 of an inch or 19 millimeters. It'd probably still work, but we're limiting ourselves to the 1/2 inch to 5/8 inch thick material for drawer side. So let's take a look at the specifications for the back of the box. There are some things that are important to consider in this box, and one of the most important ones is the hole. You'll see the one is here, and one of them is here. Those are typically a 6 millimeter hole, and they receive the hook that you see right here on the back of the undermount drawer runner. Let me just show you how that goes on here. So your runner would sit like this, and then the hook goes into that hole. And so most of the runners on the market today are designed for a 6 millimeter hole to receive that hook. Now, Salici uses a 7 millimeter hole, and if you're going to use a Salici drawer slide, then you will need to bore that out to 7 millimeters. Otherwise, the hook that needs to go into that hole is going to get stuck. It's not going to engage all the way into the hole. So if you use Salici, be aware that they are using a 7 millimeter hole back here. Now, another slide is the most of Headache's drawer slides are using a 6 millimeter hole, with the exception of one that I know of, and that's the Quadro 4D. Their drilling pattern in the back is quite a bit different. So for these locations, let me remove this. So for these locations here, you won't use these holes on the Quadro 4D. Instead, what I recommend is that you buy a little adapter that goes on the back of the drawer box called the tilt adjuster. And then you don't even need to have a hole drilled in the back of the box at all. Let me show you here in the illustration. Just watch how that tilt adjuster would sit. You can see, I've already had a tilt adjuster on here because these are the holes that are used to accept the tilt adjuster for the Quadro 4D. But with the exception of the Salici and the Quadro, all of the ones that I'm talking about are going to require a 6 millimeter hole right there, one on each side. Now let me point this out too. Here's the drawer side. Here's the drawer side, right here. And from the center of the hole to the drawer side here is 7 millimeters. That's the distance. That's what's typical in the industry. And from the floor of the cabinet here, the floor of the drawer box here, up to the center of the hole is 11 millimeters. That's the distance and the location of this hole. Most manufacturers are going to provide you with a little drilling jig so you get it right on the dot. And that's nice to use that drilling jig. I have one here, but I don't know what I did with it. So now, looking at the bottom of the box again, it's really common for manufacturers to require a notch. Some will have a 33 millimeter notch or a 35 millimeter notch, even up to a 37. But the Movento slide requires a 2-inch notch here in the back if this drawer is extended down. So the manufacturer will say, make a notch, and then you have your back extended. Well, my recommendation when building the back of the box is so as to make it more universal, so you can use it with other slides if you need to, is to remove this back from here and just leave it open all the way. Then you'll have a more universal application for the back of your drawer box. So when looking at the drawer box, this dado that you see right here, That's where the bottom of the drawer box slides into that notch. You might have to use a bracket here to support the back. Otherwise, you'll need to, to support the bottom. Otherwise, you'll need to staple the bottom to the back of your drawer box. But a bracket is used by lots of manufacturers so that they don't have to have the back of the box sticking down. So there's a couple of recommendations that I have when you're building a drawer box, the specifications for the back of the drawer box. So if you find that useful, well then, that information useful, do us the thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe.